Assalamu alaikum, my brothers and sisters from the Naruto verse. This is Brian D. Free, and this is my review of Naruto episode 359. Well, we get another fill-in episode. I wouldn't say filler, I would say fill-in episode, where we learn about the night of the tragedy, and we get to understand everything that was going on. What did Itachi have to face, and what were the things that were pulling on him to do what he did? And a lot of people aren't going to like this episode, because we're not looking at the war arc right now. But you know what? I like it. I like learning what actually happened when we get to the fine details. And so this episode is good. I definitely do want to see the war arc, and from the intro and the outro, it looks like it's gonna be pretty good. So I'm willing to be patient, and I give this episode, I give it a B, and I think it was good. Now, in Naruto chapter 673, when I first read it, I wasn't really impressed with it. But you know what? It was because I didn't go over it and truly see what was happening in the chapter. I had to read it again. And then that's when I was like, oh, that's what's going on in there. There were a few things that I liked. I liked Naruto's new sage cloak look. I don't know what you would call it, but I like his new look. And then I like how Sasuke has his new Rinnegan. That looks cool. And when I read it through on the second time, that's when I saw that Madara was being talked to by the holy tree. And then you see that panel with those eyes, and it's like, oh, is that Kaiguya? And then it makes sense. It's like, shouldn't Kaiguya's chakra still be around if the sage of the sixth most chakra is still around, and so are his son's chakra is still around? So then Madara gets a power up, and I start thinking, oh yeah, this is pretty good. So with this one, I give it a B. That's my reviews for this week, guys. You have an awesome Easter.
Who has believed our message, and to whom has the arm of the Lord been revealed? He grew up before him like a tender shoot, and like a root out of dry ground. He had no beauty or majesty to attract us to him, nothing in his appearance that we should desire him. He was despised and rejected by men, a man of sorrows, and familiar with suffering. Like one from whom men hide their faces, he was despised, and we esteemed him not. Surely he took up our infirmities and carried our sorrows, yet we considered him stricken by God, smitten by him, and afflicted. But he was pierced for our transgressions, he was crushed for our iniquities. The punishment that brought us peace was upon him, and by his wounds we are healed. We all like sheep have gone astray. Each of us has turned to his own way, and the Lord has laid on him the iniquity of us all. He was oppressed and afflicted, yet he did not open his mouth. He was led like a lamb to the slaughter, and as a sheep before her shearers is silent, so he did not open his mouth. By oppression and judgment he was taken away, and who can speak of his descendants? For he was cut off from the land of the living. For the transgression of my people he was stricken. He was assigned a grave with the wicked, and with the rich in his death, though he had done no violence, nor was any deceit in his mouth. Yet it was the Lord's will to crush him and cause him to suffer. And though the Lord makes his life a guilt offering, he will see his offspring and prolong his days. And the will of the Lord will prosper in his hand. After the suffering of his soul, he will see the light of life and be satisfied. By his knowledge, my righteous servant will justify many, and he will bear their iniquities. Therefore I will give him a portion among the great, and he will divide the spoils with the strong, because he poured out his life unto death, and was numbered with the transgressors. For he bore the sin of many, and made intercession for the transgressors.